Hutton, good afternoon. Are you going to be picking the Longhorns with this burnt orange shirt that you're wearing?
Maybe a preview.
This
maybe
could
a
be
bit
a
of
preview of your
here.
pick for the big game?
Yeah, maybe so.
Maybe my
so.
biggest game of the college football weekend. We'll find out with my top 10 games of the week. Pumped up, Hutton. I'm ready to get into the weekend in style.
Right. You can win with your wagering. You can win on PrizePicks. PrizePicks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. And with PrizePicks, it's just you against the numbers, really. And now you can win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks. With as little as 4 correct picks, you can turn $10 into $1,000. One passing yard from Caleb Williams gets you one win on PrizePicks every week in the month of September. That's right. Chad and I can't lose this one.
You're a fourth of the way there, just with that one pick.
1 yard gets you an automatic win every football weekend in September. That's 4 weeks of free W's. Don't miss this deal right now, PrizePicks, because it's gone when September ends. What was that? Green Day who sang that song?
Wake Me Up When September Ends.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Remember
a great
this.
song.
Yeah, do it now.
Right around 2004, I think that album.
Yep.
American Idiot, I believe is the album.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
PrizePicks, the best way to win and win real money this football season. Which players are going to put up big numbers? Which ones you know are going to be bust? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds, and you can turn your sports opinions into real money all season long at PrizePicks. App's very easy to download, easy to sign up. And right now, download, grab that app, use the code OutKick, and you get $50 instantly when you play $5. Code OutKick at PrizePicks, $50 whenever you play $5. Get that instantly. And you don't need to win to receive the $50 bonus that's guaranteed for you. PrizePicks, code OutKick. PrizePicks, run your game. Get it done.
This is a great offer. Take advantage of it.
Code OutKick.
Sometimes, Hutton, my trivial knowledge even surprises myself. Yeah. Released on September 21st, 2004, American Idiot, the studio album by Green
2000?
Day. I guess around 2004, and it was September 21st, 2004.
Are you like me? Do you judge the music based on where you were? So you know you were in college.
Yeah.
Right? Are you judging the year based on when you first remember hearing that?
Yeah, I was just out of college, living at home for a semester.
When the stoner down the hall was playing that on guitar?
Working an internship at a local radio station, going to visit buddies at MTSU that were still in school.
Oh, okay.
And listening to that CD. That's my institutional core memory of that Green Day album. I also think that once you hit a certain age, like you stop remembering current music based on times of your life as much. You know, I think it kind of ends for everyone around 25, right? Like the first 25 years of your life, you can remember even elementary school, hearing songs on the radio as a kid.
Yeah.
I can associate that with memories of being in elementary school. But you get to a certain point, you just don't have that annual memory of songs because you're not usually listening to as many current songs.
Chad, I think for me it ended when everything went digital instead of the physical CD. Because you remember buying it.
Yeah,
you know?
That's a good point.
I think for me anyway.
And the radio era.
Yes.
You know, if you'd listen to songs on the radio, which I don't really do anymore.
We're now in the social media era. Can't use X, though, for covering the NFL in Brazil. Tonight, Packers and Eagles. And for instance, it's Armando. We asked Armando about this yesterday. He's got a great story up right now at OutKick about how those covering this game are getting creative. Zach Berman, for instance, he's covering this game. He's sending info, pics, tweets, posts back to his wife and kids here in the States so they can then post for him the coverage of this football game. And that's what a lot of people are going to do. For instance, Roger Goodell, because of the ban of X in the country of Brazil, Goodell can't even post from his X account if he wanted to. Philadelphia Inquirer's got, they have, I believe, 4 reporters. None of them have made a post since they arrived. I think one of the reporters, Chad, is on the plane, like takes a picture of the monitor on his in the seat in front of him, and says, "Hey, so long, catch you on the flip side," because he knows he's not going to post again while he's down there because of the ban of what is free speech, and the minister of Brazil who's against that, and his long-standing rivalry with and hatred of Elon Musk.
I mean,
of course, the NFL's done nothing about this. They're going to play this game and move on.
So I watched Roger Goodell this morning, I tuned into whatever Good Morning Football is now on NFL Network. I think it's still the same show, but they just do it out of L.A. with some different hosts.
Yeah.
Roger Goodell live, via satellite, as the old people say, from Brazil. He's got his cool looking button up on, black button up shirt. He's got a couple too many buttons down.
He's not wearing green, is he?
No, not wearing green. We'll get to that also. Why he wouldn't be wearing green? Wearing a black button up, looking all cool. Needed one more button, but didn't do it. And just everything. Just life is great. Life is great in Brazil. That's why did you choose Brazil? Well, the fans. The fans dictated that we come to Brazil because the Brazilian fans are just so gung ho about our game. And was asked about a game on the African continent, and he said that's in the works also. With so many African players now and their development with the NFL and football in Africa. So that's going to happen at some point too. And I just keep coming back to the fact that no one in America, this is American football. Football is something different everywhere else in the world. No one in America wants this, I don't think, other than the owners. Because the owners are going to get more and more rich off of this. They're already super rich, all of them. The league is super rich. But they're just going to get more rich because their brand is going to be extended worldwide. But I tend to look at things through the lenses of the American audience. And myself as a football fan, I don't give one you-know-what about a game in Brazil. I don't. I don't care about what the stadium looks like. I don't care about what, the time of day. Everything about it. Play the game at Lambeau Field or in Philly, and I'd be more interested in that game. I liked watching a game last night at Arrowhead.
Yeah.
That was cool. That was fun. I know Arrowhead. It's in America. I enjoy it. It's got a good fan base. It's loud. I don't care about any of this, but I also fully concede that the NFL is going to continue to do things like this just to deepen their pockets.
So they see this, their initiative in their global expansion. They see firsthand what the global market has done and is continuing to do for baseball and for basketball, right? We are critical of the ratings going down in the United States, but globally, you have a built-in audience already for those sports, baseball and basketball. American football, you kind of have to do you have to grind. You have to do the grunt work to get it going where you are to even the level of baseball for the brands, I'm saying, because they're selling out immediately in London, Germany. They sold out in 70 seconds or whatever it was. Craziness. You don't have that built-in global fan base initially. And so there's still the slow rollout where, how many years they've been doing the London game? And they're just now they're trying to get to Africa. They're just now expanding to Brazil. They're trying to stage that, if not every year. Every other something, depending on how this weekend goes tonight. Point being, they're trying to build the commercial opportunities. And as John McClain told us, sports betting.
I want to
speak. They just approved. They just approved the private equity money, and at some point you run out of the billionaires to sell to in the United States that are part of this club. Like, if you want to continue to sell, if Jerry Jones wants to sell for $10 billion, where does he go to find the 10 billionaire to buy it now? Probably not in the U.S. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you got Shah Khan in Jacksonville. There's foreign ownership, and there could be more of that. Is it not enough just to dominate the United States and have your teams all across that top 50 Forbes list of most valuable franchises in the world? Yes, there are European soccer clubs in that list too, but you're already dominating. I'm speaking for the fan here, all right? I'm the one who feels like I'd just rather see this game in Green Bay. But it's never enough. I don't understand why this isn't enough. Well, you are dominating to a level that even owning the United States, you have got more franchises than any other league in that top 50 most valuable worldwide. Worldwide already. It's not going to stop the American audience from watching. And I think that they know that they have everyone kind of by the balls right now with this because America's so addicted to football. But I'm not enriched at all as an American football fan by these games.
Well,
Not one bit.
But they're not taking away games. They're adding games to the regular season is what they're doing. I still think the international game will be the extra game they're about to tack on. Eventually, every team will play that ninth, quote-unquote, home game that the NFC has this year. I think that will, when they add the other game, that will be an international game that will count for they'll split the revenue the way they do that. And here's the other thing. The NFL isn't just dominating in sports. They're dominating in streaming. They're dominating in all of TV. They are the programming that everyone covets. And in order to add to that, they want to add more to the audience, especially in the streaming world. I think that's the other play here.
It's why this game's exclusively on Peacock.
Tonight, I think it's on is it on Amazon tonight?
I thought it was Peacock.
Is it Peacock
exclusively? Maybe I'm wrong.
No, you're probably right.
I'll double check.
Who knows, Chad? There's like 30 of them now.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep up. We'll find it. I'm with you, though. I mean, it's not like I don't want to see a game in Lambeau Field. I don't, I'm tired of, they try to just blend into whatever's going on. It's a lot like what
exclusively
UFC's
streamed
done.
on Peacock tonight, the game. So, and here's the other thing. This is what we've known forever about spending for those rights on the NFL and how do they get away with charging that much to networks. Well, they use the NFL to advertise every other product they have. An example that I saw all over the game last night is this show Fight Night that's coming exclusively to Peacock. That's got Kevin Hart in it, Don Cheadle, Terrence Howard, a lot of big-time actors. And they are cross-promoting the hell out of that with everything NFL this Thursday and Friday night because it's launching this weekend.
Well, and they
to
can
coincide
sell ads
with the
now.
NFL.
They can sell true commercials. And Netflix, they have the Christmas Day games. They just, like the last 2 weeks, finalized a deal for the production of that game. All the behind-the-scenes trucks, cameramen, directors, whatever. CBS is going to supply that. CBS is about to have new ownership. And there's a clause in their contract if they switch ownership that the NFL can, finagle their current deal and actually try to charge them more. So they're trying to, play nice with Netflix. And as part of the deal, Chad, Netflix is going to play promotional content for CBS. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're going to see a lot of promotion for stuff that's not on Netflix.
I completely understand the why and all this. I just don't like it. I still reserve the right to hate all of it, and I know why they're doing it. I just don't really appreciate any of it.
I have 5 things that I'm rooting for, but it would cause something else. I would not root for this, but it would take total chaos in a game like tonight for it to slow down, to hit the brakes a bit.
You're saying like a technical glitch.
Yeah, or soccer fans show up. That's what. So they're not wearing green apparently because of that, right?
Yeah. If you had some sort of international incident that you see at
and
some
I'm not
South
saying I
American soccer
want to
matches,
see that.
Yeah, that could change it.
But you slow your roll a bit, and next time, you're not allowed to post on social media from a country or wear the color green because you have certain Corinthians that hate. Is it Palmeiras?
Yeah,
that they hate. That wears
they
green?
have hooligans basically that will jump you if you're wearing green.
But here's the thing: as a part of that story, so the Eagles aren't wearing green in their jersey tonight. They're wearing black helmets, white uniform,
which is the color of Corinthians, the stadium they're playing in.
So in the AP reports that the only, as part of the memo, it's only the home team, quote unquote, that they were told absolutely not. You're going to be fined if you're seen wearing green. Even like all players are going to be fined. Sponsors were expressly directed to not wear green, of the sponsors of this game, or show green in anything. And meanwhile, the Packers, they can wear green. Now they're going to wear the
white.
Yellow. They're going to wear the yellowish uniform or whatever it is, right? The top, because the Eagles are going to be in white.
Okay.
But it doesn't prohibit the Packers from wearing green.
They're going to wear yellow against white?
Yeah, I'm going to read the report directly. But yeah, that's the story. Here it is. According to the Associated Press, a memo stated green was only to be worn by the visiting team, in this case, Green Bay. The Packers will sport their white, yellow, and green jerseys. basically they had no choice in choosing their attire because they had to be the opposite of the home team, which chose to wear white.
So they're going to wear green.
Yeah, so
'Cause the Eagles
white,
are wearing
yellow,
white?
green. I don't know.
Okay.
It's the first time in team history they will wear.
The fact that we're so confused by all this just shows that I don't
well,
think it's worth the hassle.
But it shows that the whole commotion about not wearing green was true.
Yeah.
You know, it was back and forth.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, you're right. They're dressed as the soccer club. It's the first time in the team's history, Philadelphia, that they will wear this combination of uniform. Black helmets, white jerseys, black pants. There they are. They're your Philadelphia Eagles. I know.
Fundamentally, we are taking away from the tradition of a tradition-rich NFL franchise to get away from their actual colors to appease a foreign entity because their home fans don't like people wearing green. You are the NFL.
And we're going to fine you if you wear green.
Why do you jump through these hoops? Like, if there's a country that is peaceful, somewhat law-abiding, well-run, a stadium and a league that's well-operated and run like the NFL is, then by all means, go to Munich and go to London or other places you've gone, and it's gone off without a hitch. But because there's a lot of Brazilian NFL fans, we're going to play one game in Brazil, and everyone's just supposed to, okay, that's great. This is awesome. This is just more expansion for the NFL. I don't like it. And I can't believe that I'm alone in this. I'd much rather this game be
so they are
in Philly or Green Bay.
So what? So, I mean,
then why?
What's the trash talk going to be like in this game to Green Bay?
Also, don't wear green. Sponsors can't wear green. The Philadelphia Eagles, as the home team, you're forbidden from wearing green. But it's okay for the visitors to put themselves at risk.
Davey or Adam, do me a favor.
By wearing green?
So the home team is Philadelphia. Green Bay's the visiting team here. They're wearing green. Whenever the bids came out for the countries you could market, let me know if Philadelphia
got Brazil.
And if Green Bay has any stake in it. Because they just paired a team that doesn't have any ownership whatsoever or rights to advertise. You see what I'm saying? This is clearly that, I think. But there's so many teams that are doing it, I can't keep up with. You know, like Spain had like 5 teams, you know?
It's football. We're going to watch it. Everyone's probably going to watch it. I just, why? Why do we as fans have to be subjected to this when it's just so much easier and better the way we've done it before? It's because billionaires need to become trillionaires.
Go back to St. Louis. Go to Louisville. Take this on the road. Go to Nebraska.
Just go to Green Bay. Like Lambeau Field, awesome.
Well, this would be in
Philly for
a
game, awesome.
I guess.
Just I don't like it.
You know, and then even when we're staging the international soccer games here, you know, and seeing the fights break out in our stadiums. We'll say that tonight.
Let's protect what's American.
If you're a Packers fan.
What is uniquely American is American football. Like, I'm fine protecting that in America, especially when it is the most profitable, the most successful, the most well-run league going right now. And it shows. We can pull up the Forbes top 50 most valuable franchises. It is dotted with NFL teams. Some in markets you would never think of as even being profitable. And they're of the 50 most. So we got to get all 32 in the top 50. Is that the next goal? Man, oh man. I don't understand why world domination has to be a thing when we've already locked down the borders with the NFL.
Davey, I think, found something here.
Yeah, so what's interesting is the Packers don't actually have a team or a country as far as the international rights go. The Eagles, their rights include Australia, New Zealand, and Ghana. If you're looking for Brazil, the only team that currently has any rights there is the Dolphins.
That's interesting.
Then why are the Dolphins not playing in this game?
Okay, let's go a layer deeper.
Make it make sense, hon. Why are the Dolphins not there?
Are Eagles fans who are going to this game wearing green? And what happens in the stands?
Well,
are Packers fans wearing their home jerseys? And what happens to those fans?
I'm not even worried.
Is there a warning out there at all?
I'm not as worried much about what happens in the stands, what happens when they're just walking to their hotel. Apparently, because this is such an issue there.
Yeah, but if Green Bay, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You could have the Brazilian fan base in their home stadium talking trash to a fellow Eagles fan who's wearing green. and a fight breaks up. Philly will fight.
Yeah,
They're looking for a fight, Chad. You got Philly fan.
It's very a lot of this, and watching that Roger Goodell interview. I mean, it's state-run media, obviously, but he was joking about his flight. It was full of Philly fans, and they were doing the "Fly Eagles Fly" chant on the flight down to Brazil, and he was with a bunch of Philly fans. And I'm thinking, well, my follow-up would be, well, are they going to wear green? Were those Philly fans in green when they landed in Brazil? Because that seems to be an issue. But you can't ask that if you're the NFL Network, because Roger Goodell would probably have you fired. It's the same thing that people go after the NBA for being silent on China, on issues, right, of censorship and everything else. I mean, we're muddying sort of the same waters now with the NFL's willingness just to do whatever Brazil says for a game and not even speak about it.
So here's where the teams are. You ready? But not every team. I'm going to hit the countries you wouldn't expect. So Miami has marketing rights in Argentina and Colombia. Los Angeles Rams, rights in South Korea and Japan.
So Miami is Brazil.
This story doesn't list Brazil. It says Miami has marketing rights in Argentina and Colombia.
Okay.
Los Angeles has rights in South Korea and Japan. Seattle Seahawks have rights in Canada and are expanding to Austria and Switzerland. That's just a handful of countries that circle.
So there were several teams that actually gained rights for the year 2024, and the Dolphins,
They added to it?
The Dolphins had Brazil. It looks like the New England Patriots also got Brazil for this year.
I mean, put those teams down there, right?
Yeah. You know what else is great about them? No green.
Nope. Thank you. Great
on
point.
either one. But, man, we really could have solved a lot of problems right here.
Or did they stage this?
Where were we in New York when these meetings were happening?
Or did they stage this on purpose because this was the plan? Here are the home and road uniforms of the home Corinthians team. You've got the home replica jersey for $94.99. It's cheaper than Team USA's Olympic.
The one on the left looks like a polo shirt someone would wear in 1995. You know, with like the big Ralph Lauren logo on it.
You know who the most liked people are tonight? The NFL referees.
Yeah, they're gonna be the Corinthians.
Yeah, and then that looks like a Green Bay Packers.
Go Corinthians!
Did they stage this because of the colors?
Are they trying to get people shivved?
I don't know.
I mean, what do they do to fans in Brazil? Stab them? Burn them? Collins, our international soccer expert. What's the crime of choice in South America?
I mean, I hope nothing serious goes on, but it would take something like that for them to slow their roll.
Do they scalp?
Where they just go in?
Do soccer fans scalp in South America? Is that still a thing? I don't. None of it makes any sense to me.
The players were told,
and I hate that the line in. We have Armando Salguero on and John McClain, and these are guys who've been around the NFL forever. And I know what they're saying, and I understand the why. The why is money. But it's just
sponsorships is what they're after.
At some point, enough has to be enough. Like, you can reach a point and say, we can still maximize even more out of the United States. We're already the best. Let's not jeopardize it. And we can still go up here. Marketing rights for 1 year in one of these, it's stupid. It's all stupid.
When you've got players that said that they were told they were warned not to leave their hotel rooms. And I was talking with someone the other day, Chad. I was like, what happens if one of the players got kidnapped? Don't leave your hotel room.
Hopefully it would be the end of South American NFL games happening.
Well, I mean, it depends. Is it Jalen Hurts or is it a practice squad guy?
They'll probably silence it.
They'll treat it like an incident off the field.
They also, the NFL helps get X to zap the X accounts of all the family members of the practice squad guy because they're asking for help.
Who can we trade? I mean, the Merchant of Death has already been sent back to Russia.
There you go.
Yeah, it's true.
Yep.
I don't. All right. Hey, good luck. Good luck, boys. Enjoy it. Don't get stabbed. No one that's down there.
A.J. Brown said they'd be given a list of do's and don'ts, adding, quote, I'm just trying to go down there and win a football game and come back home. That's the best way I can put it. Devontae Smith no commented when asked. Whatever.
I mean, they're in prison in their hotel rooms.
Man. Yeah. Friday Night Football, first since 1970. We had Thursday Night Football last night. The Ravens, once again, Lamar Jackson put on a show. And Kansas City did what they do. They beat Baltimore. And Chad, I'm watching this. The Ravens fall to 1-5 against the Chiefs. And that's 1-5 against the Chiefs under Lamar Jackson at quarterback. And Baltimore, even by just inches at the end of the game, they're still a tier below the NFL's best when it comes to truly taking them out. Because Kansas City, it's evident, they're better than they were a year ago. They're the back-to-back champs. They're going for the three-peat. They've got speed. They have dynamic new playmakers. They're clutch. They're creative. They're just a step ahead of where Baltimore is. And I love the Ravens overall and how they're built. I really like Lamar Jackson. I like the pairing of him with Derrick Henry. But those close but not over the line, like you can't reach the finish line first. You're just an inch out of bounds, but it feels like they're a mile away because it's the same result and it's the same team that continues to win. Even when you've got Baltimore's defense in the AFC Championship game that holds Kansas City scoreless in the second half, they can't win those games. Even when they have winning moments. And Lamar Jackson had the ball, completed a pass, great catch by Bateman. And then you have the letdown moment where they're off the mark with his receiver wide open in the end zone, comes back to Isaiah Likely, who looks to be pretty good. And he's an inch, a toenail out of bounds. Great finish, but typical finish when it comes to Kansas City and Baltimore. We'll see a rematch of this.
Yeah, I like the Ravens have such attitude after the game about it. You know, Isaiah Likely, I think, was the one who said that's the worst we're going to play this year. So enjoy the win, Kansas City. You know, we're only going to play better from here if we meet again. Buckle up type deal. You got to take on that mentality. I think if you're Baltimore, I also think it's honestly from the outside looking pretty foolish. Because I don't think Kansas City played great either in this game.
Pedestrian numbers from Mahomes.
And
really.
I'm watching Kansas City, and I'm saying, boy, oh boy, with Xavier Worthy on that team now, they're even better than they were a year ago. The back-to-back Super Bowl champs are better. And they struggled. They stubbed their toe on offense throughout most of last year and figured it out in time and went and won a Super Bowl. That should be damn terrifying to the rest of the NFL. That you can honestly look at this Kansas City team through one game and say they're better. They're better than they were last year. Now is the rest of the league better? That's the big question. And can Baltimore finally put it together against them when it matters in the playoffs? Because I agree with you, Hutton, they're going to meet again in the playoffs.
Well, and Kansas City didn't even have Hollywood Brown in this game. You know, add him in. Kelsey had, 2 or 3 catches? I mean, not that it wasn't crazy.
Mark Andrews also, I think, 2 catches for 19 yards. Wasn't a part of the offense at all.
No, I think we've seen maybe the passing in the night of you've got Likely being the guy. He's good.
He is good.
He's fun to watch.
Derrick Henry's good too, but Derrick Henry very much needs to be even or in the lead in the second half to have a monster game with his team.
They have to give him more carries in the first half.
Need more carries.
He's a bulk guy.
He got the first touchdown for them.
Yeah,
but. I don't think he was bad or anything.
No.
He just didn't get a lot of opportunities. That'll change if Baltimore's ahead in the second half of a lot of games.
Yes, and here's the other thing. This is why there wasn't a massive market for Henry. There were teams that wanted him and were going to pay him. But he's not on the field on those final plays. I'm looking for 22, and he's not there because he's he's first, second down guy. And when you get into
the pass-only situations, he can't be out there.
And that's where Baltimore's got to find more playmakers because the dynamic aspect of what they're doing and what they've added is that RPO with Henry. We saw that early. Lamar's running for a first down, they're going to do that all year. But if Henry's not on the field, you're not really threatened by that,
Yeah.
And that's what they've got to get more yards on first and second down.
Do you like that Harbaugh was going for 2?
Yes.
I do too.
How about this?
I'm always, though, when I see that call, because I'm watching like everyone else, freaking out, watching
That's
the end
when
of that
Henry
game,
would have been on the field, by the way.
it. But when you're doing that, I'm always thinking, boy, you better have the best play call lined up and ready for just this situation. Your weekly game plan, like if you're going into that situation and immediately so confident we're going for 2, to me, you know exactly what you're doing because you repped it that week and you have the situation right there in your game plan that this is our 2-point conversion play. We know it will work as long as we get the look we believe we will get. And you might call a timeout if you don't, right? Then this play will work. That's the only way you run it. If not, you kick the extra point. But I like the mentality from Harbaugh. It doesn't surprise me either.
I want to go back and see if we can even tell the personnel that was coming on the field for the 2-point conversion. If they went heavy and went too tight, I think it's a Henry jump pass, which we saw 2 or 3 times while he was the Titan.
And we saw it against Baltimore in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That would have been a great turn.
I think that
if they would have won the game,
I think
on that
Henry's
play.
on the field for that play.
Yeah.
For the 2-point conversion. Here's the other thing that is just blows my mind. Again, I'm taking the under in every game except for Miami-Jacksonville this weekend. The over-under last night was 47.5. It hit by an inch.
The under hit. Yeah, so you won on the under.
Yeah, but I'm saying like
by half a point.
By a toe. You know? It's crazy,
man. It
man.
adds credence to the whole NFL is scripted thing
It's nuts.
When you see something like that.
They're at 47 and it comes down to that play as time hits 000. 47.5 is the over-under. At least that's where I had it right before the game yesterday.
I love how Mahomes said next time wear white cleats would help you out in that situation with the inline.
So they were razor sharp. That's what Collinsworth said about the illegal formations. That should put everyone on notice for the rest of the season, or rest of the league for week 1, I'm saying. Ronnie Stanley, 2 penalties on the first drive. The right tackle had another one. Could have been 4 because you're supposed to warn the player before you throw the flag for the first flag early in the season. And that means they would have had 4. Only 1 penalty, though, was accepted. You know, 1 was offsetting, 1 was declined. Point being, you're going to be on line of scrimmage. And, Chad, how often have we seen this line across all of football right now? This is a way different and this will affect the quarterback a lot, not having that extra foot in the backfield.
Yeah, and this is coaching. The coaches have to adjust. Right. When this is screwed up, I immediately blame coaching.
Speaking of coaching, Connor Stallions is now the head coach of his high school football team in Detroit because the head coach who hired him, who said, "I just hired the most hated man in football," I think it was tongue-in-cheek, had a stroke in August.
Prayers for him.
Yes, and so Connor Stallions has been named interim head coach of this high school program.
This is the next step in the Connor Stallions rehab process that will eventually end up with him being the head coach at his alma mater, the United States Naval Academy. I really see that in my vision board, Hutton, has Connor Stallions leading Navy to a college football playoff one year.
He's the next Ken Niumatalolo.
With his expert advanced scouting process, he is the man to get Navy back. That's what's going to happen.
You know how you debut a podcast? You just mentioned Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
And that's what Angel Reese did. Her episode 1 of her new podcast, Unapologetically Angel, she had this to say about Caitlin Clark fans with saying Caitlin Clark fans, racism, death threats, and stalking have been involved with Clark fans. Here she is.
Whenever you think of Angel Reese, people often mention Caitlin Clark. You've said in interviews, there's no beef, but the media keeps going on. So how do you feel about that situation?
Caitlin is an amazing player, and I've always thought she was an amazing player. We've been playing each other since high school. So I think it's really just the fans, her fans, the Iowa fans, now the Indiana fans that are like, they ride for her. And I respect that respectfully, but sometimes it's very disrespectful. I think there's a lot of racism when it comes to it, and I don't believe she stands on any of that. But when it comes to death threats, like I'm talking about people have come down to my address, following me home. Like it's come down to that. Multiple occasions, people have made AI pictures of me like naked, literally.
Really?
They have sent it to my family members. My family members are like, uncles are sending it to me like,
no.
Are you naked on Instagram? It sucks to see that, and it's really hard that I have to go through that, and now seeing other players even having to go through that. But like at the end of the day, it's a game that we do both love, but there is no hate.
There's Angel Reese in her first podcast episode. Look, if she's facing all this, it's awful. But to just automatically assume it's Caitlin Clark fans that are doing it. Come on.
I think it's just probably people who are racist that are doing it. I wouldn't then associate it with, Caitlin Clark. She doesn't say all Caitlin Clark fans in that piece that I heard. But, yeah, I mean, there's, I'll say what's pretty obvious. There's likely some elements of racism involved at times with people who hate Angel Reese as much as they hate Angel Reese. There's also a large contingent of people, especially Iowa fans, that simply love Caitlin Clark. There's a large contingent like me that loves to watch Caitlin Clark play the game, and I'm a huge Caitlin Clark fan. And there's no racism involved in that part of it. I'll also say, and this kind of goes back to the whole Mina Kimes thing, she accuses OutKick of spreading lies that led to hate. Creating bigotry, creating death threats for her and threats to her family and this and that. Those are heavy allegations. So if that's happening, when people at OutKick say, please point it out where the lies are and where you're being threatened, and, OutKick would issue an apology if they lied about anything, she doesn't do that, and then she takes a bunch of nameless, faceless troll accounts that said mean things. I mean, that's not really proving anything. So I would tell Angel Reese this also. If you're going to lay these heavy accusations down, show us the receipts. Show us some of the stuff that's happened to you and what's going on. And then everyone can – let's also, in the interest of outing the losers that are doing this, let's go public with it when someone threatens you. Let's call the authorities. Let's get those people on social media out of here if they're in fact doing that. But we're not seeing any of that proof with this. And same goes with Mina Kimes.
So what we have seen, this isn't the first time she's talked about the reaction, or sometimes, just the stalking that's gone on. She said this at LSU after the final game, all that. And again, I hope that if it's happened, it's not happening more. It's awful that it did. First, the racist aspect of it is used through the media of the matchup itself, the one-on-one rivalry, because it adds fuel to the fire.
Yeah, race sells, clicks. Too.
Absolutely. And, that we've seen the one dude who was claimed that it was Kennedy Carter, I believe, that was pissed off that they couldn't have a separate entrance at the team hotel. This was in Washington. So Chicago's at Washington this season, and they're swarmed coming off the bus. And then there's one guy who comes up and does something in the middle of the pack, and, everyone's pissed off about it. She points that out, that, that guy wants to get at Angel Reese. Who knows what could happen there? Again, you need better security. Beyond that, I think she has posted screenshots of stuff on social, on her story, from LSU. But again, just to compare it to, this is, Caitlin Clark fans, it's not. But here's the thing: it's being portrayed. The perception is it is, because you're either on one side or the other.
Yeah.
Right. And that I mean, even if, you got ESPN, where on First Take they're going back and forth. It's one side or the other for MVP. 2 months ago, not even close now. But you get what I'm saying.
Well, I want the people that are doing this, if in fact it's happening, I want them to be brought to light. So I hope that she does offer some receipts of what's going on. And I hope first off, I hope it's not. I hope it doesn't continue. But if it's happened, let's bring those people to light, because the further we go with this stuff, you lead to Jussie Smollett.
Well, but here's the thing. It's even happening, whoever controls her podcasts, the production. It's happening right there on episode 1. This is the same Angel Reese who says there's more than one face of the sport, right? On the thumbnail is nothing but Caitlin Clark in the center of it. They use Caitlin Clark's name in the algorithm, in the description of it. And the headline is Angel Spills the Tea. And you've got Clark's name and her picture playing in the middle of the thumbnail. Now, do I think Angel Reese sat there on a computer and made that and created that? No. But the company, the production elements that went into it, did this for the clicks.
Yeah, they know the algorithm.
They did this for
the clicks. And mentioning Caitlin Clark with Angel Reese is going to lead to more views.
Yes, and it manufactures the rivalry that they say has no beef whatsoever.
It's good for the interest in the WNBA, though. That's for sure.
Good for Angel Reese podcast, too. Episode 1, we're talking about it. Thank God my job isn't to listen to it.